Ni hao, amigos. Today's the day we're all supposed to die, but guess what? We're not dead. The Mayans were wrong. Now you're probably saying to yourself, Blaze, that's... No. The Mayans were right. They did predict that the calendar would stop at the year 2012, you're right. But they did not. What they did not do is predict an apocalypse. What they did predict was a paradigm shift. This paradigm shift was apparently so massive that their calendars couldn't go beyond it. And that's just part of how they lived, according to the Mayans. This particular kind of thing, a paradigm shift, has happened 6 times before. Well, either this is the 6th time or this is the 7th time. One of the two, I'm not positive. But anyway, it is simply a paradigm shift. Now, whether that paradigm be celestial, global, systemic, as in, the solar system, that sort of thing, governmental, economic, maybe even have the moon closer to us, or maybe have the moon farther away. We don't know what's supposed to happen in this paradigm shift, because the Mayans didn't know either. But obviously they knew enough to notice that something was going to change, that something was going to be different. Now, seeing as we're not dead, let's talk about some politics. Something that has recently come to my attention, what with all the shootings that happened recently in Colorado, Connecticut, and the two other places, I can't remember what they're called. Leave a comment in the section down there, or video response if you can tell me what they are, because I'd really like to remember, and I just don't want to use the powers of Google for that. There have been rumors being spread about that our government is going to essentially repeal the Second Amendment of the Bill of Rights. And that does not bode well for me. That does not bode well for many people who live in this area. We are very vehemently opposed to such things because we are more than willing to defend ourselves. Now, there are some people who believe, either honestly or simply because it's easier, that if you take guns off the street, violence will stop. I'm here to give you my opinion that it will not stop. What did we use before guns? Swords. What did we use before swords? Clubs. What did we use before clubs? Rocks. Human beings will always have the propensity to kill one another. The people who choose to kill, who choose to take a life, will do so by whatever means they possess. Now, if that means they can go and take a gun off the black market, then that's what they're going to do. Or, if that means they have to go to the backyard and pick up a huge rock and take it to the person whom they wish to kill, that's what they're going to do. It's not going to end the violence. What it's going to do is it's going to take away our personal liberty to defend ourselves, which sounds perfect for the totalitarian government that's going to come, in my opinion, shortly after our beloved President Obama leaves office. I posit this. 1. In the case of Wilkes Booth versus Lincoln, no one blamed the gun. In the Kennedy shootings, no one blamed the gun. The Columbine shootings, no one blamed the gun. It's not the gun's fault. I have a friend who owns a 20-aught shotgun, I think. And he put on a little show for us the last time I was over at his house. He took the shotgun, loaded it, took the safety off, and set it down on the couch, pointed at our little group. And he said, "Shoot somebody." The gun didn't move. The gun did not move. The gun did nothing. The gun is a stationary, inanimate object like this pen. When a person using this pen makes a mistake, they don't blame the pen, unless the pen runs out of ink, but then that's a different story. If they make a mistake, they don't blame the pen. It's their fault. They're the ones that hurt. They're the ones that made the mistake. Now, the Connecticut shootings, that was a grand mistake. And that's a grave tragedy. I would completely agree with whoever says that. My personal belief is the man wanted revenge on his girlfriend for going out with a friend of his. And it just so happens he didn't like his mother either. The 16 or 18 kids, or however many it was, that got shot along the way are simply collateral damage. If you go back and look at any of the great shootings in our history, they had a personal motive behind them. It wasn't I'm just going to go kill someone today. No, they had at least some kind of a reason. And yes, sometimes people got in the way. Well, that's not their fault, and that makes it an accident for them. All to a point, removing your citizens' weapons will not help you unless you want to build a totalitarian government where your citizens are completely inept and unintelligent and dependent on you for everything. I'm sorry, that's not why my family came to this country. We came to this country to work for ourselves. If you go back and you look at the Constitution, at anyone's motives for coming to this country, it is the ability to live and fend for yourself. Not having to rely on a governmental body, not having to rely on someone else to make their lives for them. Now, there are some people who are perfectly fine with having the government do all the work for them. And some of those people need it. Like, say, somebody who was injured on the job, broke their leg, and can't work. They need somebody, somewhere to help them out. And they turn to the government, which is perfectly fine. I have no problems helping those people who can't work for themselves. But it's the people who won't work for themselves who cause this problem. Now, I know of a few people who fall into this category. I will not mention their names, but I do know this. This person is a mother. She has 4 kids, which means she gets 4 welfare checks. Her husband and her and she both have a job. They both make money, but they continually drain the welfare system. That is not right. Yes, they qualify for it, but they possess the capacity to work. Both the, husband, I should say, and the wife can and do work. Do you know what the mother's money goes to? Accessories, clothing, jewelry, makeup, handbags, shoes, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't go to feeding her kids. The husband's money pays all the bills. Pretty sure that's how it works. One way or the other, they are a drain on the system. Getting back to the weapons thing. Those of you out there who happen to agree with my mental perspective that if unarmed, our society will descend into chaos, leave a comment below. Make a video yourselves. Do something, and we might be able to get our government to not lose its mind. If indeed the government decides they're going to take away our weapons, they're going to take away our rights to defend ourselves, thus leaving us vulnerable to whatever they want us to do. And we will be without a choice. Now, I'm not speaking out against the current administration because I seriously doubt that they possess the power to do anything, but the next administration, or the secret society which is supposed to run the government, they have the power to do something about it. Now, I don't believe that all conspiracies are true. There are some that aren't. Nor do I believe that there is an all-powerful secret society that runs our world. But there are certain people who have run our government for the last maybe 50 years, which is why certain people are elected and certain people are not. John Kerry, for instance, he would have been an interesting president. He was intelligent, he was well-spoken, and I personally believe that the people who were not elected might actually have done more for this country than those who were. There is a video on YouTube that claims, I've watched a little bit of it, that Hillary Clinton exposed this little group who apparently is either in the White House or, I don't know. But I can tell you this much. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I respect the laws that our country has made, despite the fact that most of them I think are absolutely stupid. And most of them I will obey. But if I lose the right to own a gun and use it to defend myself, I will become a non-law-abiding citizen very quickly. I will not surrender my safety and protection to the United States government. Now, some of you are probably thinking at this point, well, what about all the soldiers who are defending our rights to live? And I'm like, well, you know what? They're doing an awesome job. If you are a veteran or are a currently inactive member of our armed services and you are watching this video, I applaud you. I thank you very, very much for your service to our country. And were I capable, I might be defending the country myself, but I am not, sadly. You work day in and day out to defend this country. Do you really want the government you pledged your loyalty to take away our ability to defend ourselves? Because the Army and the military can only go so far. If we have homegrown terrorists that are starting to spread through our neighborhoods, I want the capacity to take care of them on my own, because you guys are going to have your hands full as it is. This vlog did not go where I had intended it to go, but I think I got my point across. Obviously, this is a very thought-provoking and opinion-provoking question, idea, that sort of thing. If you have any comments, do leave them. I enjoy reading them. I don't get very many of them, so please leave a comment. Dells, I know you're watching this. I'd be interested to hear your side of the story. Owens, if you're watching this. I know your side of the story, but I thought I'd like to get my opinion out there for someone else to hear. I wish you peace, safety, and prosperity in the coming year. Enjoy the holidays, everybody. I will continue to post videos. This is something I very much enjoyed doing. And so until we meet again, be in peace. Mind Geek.